We're back with the Italian Job 2026 hike number 2, and this time we are in Lagazuoi, which is in the central Dolomites, very close to Cortina. You'll remember that from the Winter Olympics. Our journey today begins on the cable car at the Passo Falzarego, about 6,900 feet above sea level. The cable car climbs more than 2,000 feet in under 3 minutes, carrying visitors almost to the summit. The cabins accommodate around 50 passengers, and the ride is steep enough that you quickly gain a bird's eye view of the pass, the winding Great Dolomite Road, and the surrounding peaks. Today's hike is a game of two halves. Part 1, we're going to go up the mountain, we're going to visit the top, we're going to visit the Refugio, and if you're just a day tripper in your car or you come by the bus, you can actually take the cable car up, you can walk around the top, and then you can take the cable car back down again. Very easy and an amazing day trip. However, if you're like us, part 1 is getting up, and then part 2 is getting down, and in part 2, as you'll see in a minute or two, we're going to make about a 2,500 foot descent, have to climb back out 600 feet in order to get to the car. An epic day in the Rob and Nancy hike series. So let's take a short trip to the top, but Lagazuoi is one of the most famous mountains in the Dolomites, standing above the Falzarego Pass between Cortina and Alta Badia. Although the highest point of the massif reaches about 9,300 feet, most visitors head to Piccolo Lagazuoi, whose summit is 9,100 feet. This is going to be one of the easiest alpine summits that you can reach even for day trippers in the Dolomites, and offering one of the finest panoramic views anywhere in the Alps.
That's not it. Oh wait, that's the fish.
Just steps from the upper cable car station sits Refugio Lagazuoi at 9,029 feet. It's the highest and largest mountain refuge in the Cortina area, and is renowned, as you can see, for its enormous panoramic terrace. A fan favourite is a sunrise breakfast up here. Despite its remote location, the Refugio serves excellent regional cuisine, including all sorts of pasta, polenta, strudels, Kaiserschmarrn, local wines, all sorts of local beers, alcohol-free beer, of course that's what I drink, and any type of coffee you can think of, so well worth a stop.
One of the famous things about Lagazuoi are the tunnels that were carved in the First World War, when this was the front line between Austria and Italy. Italy, of course, were on the Allied side at that time, but this is just one little lookout point that you can only access through the tunnel. Let's go and have a look. Scusi.
Prego, prego.
Grazie.
Prego.
So as you can see, these tunnels weren't built for a grain-fed Englishman of 6'1" and 3 foot wide. But yes, this was the front line in the First World War in the Alps. For most of the fighting around Lagazuoi, the Austro-Hungarian army held the summit and the upper ridges of Piccolo Lagazuoi, where we just were, while the Italian Alpini held positions lower down the mountain. So, army friends, that means the Austrians could observe Italian movements on the slopes below. They had commanding fields of fire over the approaches to the summit, and their positions were carved directly into the limestone, making them extremely difficult to attack. So, rather than repeatedly attacking uphill, the Italians changed tactics. They spent months tunnelling inside the mountain, excavating a gallery from today's Falzarego Pass near the cable car up towards the Austrian positions. On the 20th of June 1917, they detonated a massive mine beneath the Austrian fortifications. The explosion destroyed part of the summit and allowed the Italians to seize some of the forward ground, but they never captured the entire Austrian defensive position. So on to part 2. We leave the day trippers behind to go down in the cable car, and we start over a 2,500 foot descent with a little 600 foot kicker at the end back up to get to the car to enjoy this amazing alpine scenery. So I normally use Hans Zimmer The Summit as our ending music, but I think this deserves the full Zimmer treatment.
There we go. That was up to the top of Lagazuoi, the mountain above me, and then off the back of the mountain down into the alpine valley behind it, through the pass, down to the bottom of the valley towards Cortina, and then climb back out again to the cable car where the car is parked. So there we go, one last look up there. There he is. What an epic day. See you later. Cue music. Give the hike a like.
So thank you for watching. That was a massive descent. Next time round we do a massive ascent up an area that looks exactly like Zion. So as I say in all my podcasts, until next time, bye for now.